The Last Ship is an original musical with music and lyrics by Sting and a book by John Logan and Brian Yorkey. Inspired by Sting's own childhood experiences in the shipbuilding industry in Wallsend, Tyne and Wear, the musical premiered in the summer of 2014, at the Bank of America Theatre in Chicago, before moving to the Neil Simon Theatre on Broadway. The musical received 2 Tony Award nominations in 2015, for Best Score and Best Orchestrations. Background: in September 2011, it was confirmed that British musician Sting was working on a musical, following rumours the previous year. A first reading took place in Manhattan in October that year, with a further reading in Newcastle in February 2012, and ultimately a full staged reading for the musical was held in 2013. In September 2013, the show was officially confirmed and it was announced that the show would premiere in Chicago in 2014. The Last Ship, which would cost around $15 million to stage, was initially inspired by Sting's 1991 album The Soul Cages, and Sting's own childhood experiences, tells the story about community and the demise of the shipbuilding industry in Wallsend, Tyne and Wear, with the closure of the town's Swan Hunter shipyard. The show has a book by John Logan and Brian Yorkey and is directed by Joe Mantello, with choreography by Stephen Hoggett, set and costume design by David Zinn, lighting design by Christopher Kurland and sound design by Brian Ronan. The show features a score by Sting that includes mostly original material, as well as 4 previously written songs, Island of Souls, and All This Time from the Soul Cages, When We Dance from the 1994 album Fields of Gold, The Best of Sting 1984-1994, and Ghost Story from the 1999 album Brand New Day. Speaking in 2011, Brian Yorkey, whilst discussing Sting writing the music for the show, said, "He's writing great theatre music. It's very, very distinctly Sting, but it also is theatre music. It's not just pop music transposed into the theatre." The Last Ship is Sting's first musical. He had previously co-written the score for the 2000 animated Disney musical film The Emperor's New Groove, although only 2 of his songs ended up in the film, after heavy studio retooling. Sting's 11th studio album, titled The Last Ship, featuring music from, or originally intended for the musical, was released on September 24, 2013. The album marked his first release of original material since his 2003 album Sacred Love and his first foray into musical theatre. Sting had suffered from writer's block and credited the show with giving him a reason to write songs again. Sting held a series of concerts at the Public Theatre in October 2013, featuring music from the show and tells stories of the making of the musical. The concert was later broadcast on PBS as part of their Great Performances series. Musical numbers orchestra The Broadway production of the musical used a 12-member orchestra consisting of keyboard, piano, guitar, bass, drums, Northumbrian pipe, flute, whistle, melodeon, fiddle, cello and percussion. Productions Chicago and Broadway On September 19, 2013, it was announced that the show would begin its world premiere with a pre-Broadway Chicago tryout. Tickets for the tryout went on sale on February 14, 2014. Previews for the Chicago run of the show began on June 10, 2014 at the Bank of America Theatre. The show opened on June 25, 2014, and played for 33 days total until July 13, 2014. Following completion of the tryout in Chicago, The Last Ship transferred to the Neil Simon Theatre on Broadway in New York. Previews started playing at the Neil Simon Theatre on September 29, 2014, and the official opening night was October 26, 2014. Sting joined the cast on stage during the curtain call on opening night. Celebrities including Billy Joel, Robert De Niro and Liam Neeson were in attendance. In a bid to help falling ticket sales, creator and musician Sting joined the cast for a limited run from December 9, 2014 to January 24, 2015, replacing Jimmy Nail. Despite sales increasing with Sting in the cast and producers stating he had had a galvanizing effect, the decision was taken to close at the end of his run in the show on January 24, 2015. Principal roles and original cast: Sting replaced Jimmy Nail as Jackie White on Broadway on December 9, 2014 and played the role until the production closed. Nail stayed with the show as a standby for the character while, in the meantime, being part of the ensemble. Awards. References. External links, official website, The Last Ship at the Internet Broadway Database.